Hello, I'm Emily and I'm going to show you how to make a wreath. I'll talk you through exactly what's in your wreath kit. So we've got a moss base. This is made with sphagnum moss, blue pine, whole oranges and sliced oranges, both green and orange, pepper berries, your binding wire, the wire for the decorations, feathers, cones and cinnamon sticks. And this is the string that we use to tie your wreath onto the door with. So we're going to start by cutting our blue spruce. So you don't want this big wooden piece in the middle. So the next step is to attach our bind wire onto the frame. So if you unravel it, pop it underneath your base, loop it round, twist it round a few times so it's nice and secure, and then hold on to the beginning and wrap it round a few times nice and tightly, like that. So then we cluster a few little pieces together and then lay them in the middle of the wreath, like that. Hold it down with one hand and then wrap your binding wire around and catch the bottom of the stems and give it a nice pull so that it's nice and secure. You can do them in single pieces or as clusters. Once we've done that first cluster, repeat the same process but putting the top of the stems on top of where we've just bound the first section and wrapping round again. So your stems of your pine will always be facing the same way. And make sure your binding wire is nice and tight. So as we're getting closer to the beginning, you just need to make sure you're lifting up this piece so that you don't end up wrapping the wire around it. All of our wires are bent and then pushed into the moss base. So then with our string, wriggle it all the way down to the bottom of the moss base, wrap it round and then tie a double knot all the way to the bottom of the frame. And this is what you're going to tie on the door with. Next we're going to attach our bow to the wreath. We thread it through all the way until the wires come out of the back and push them into the moss base, and that will keep it nice and secure. So in your box you'll have two different gauges of wires. One's a thicker one for the whole oranges and then the thinner one is to use for the other decorations. So if I start by showing you with the thin orange slices, you cluster 2 or 3 together, pop your wire through just a little bit, catch it together and then twist. So we do that with all of the slices. You can mix the colours up or you can keep them separate. So with the whole oranges we go to our thick wire and you wriggle it through. These can be a little bit tough, so you should hear it crack and eventually it'll pop through the other side. And then we have cones. So lay the wire through the bottom of the cone, wiggle it through so you can't see it at the front, and again we twist one little piece around the longer piece. With our cinnamon sticks, we pop the wire through the raffia and then twist it. And then we have feathers. So you can cluster a couple together, hold them at the bottom, make a little hook, lay it on the bottom of the feather, and then catch the base of the feather and the little piece of wire. When I'm putting my wreath together, I always think about using the larger items first and then the more delicate pieces at the end. Sometimes it's easier to lift the wreath off the table a little bit and push the wire all the way until you can feel it come out the back. And then just bend over the thicker wire and push it back into the box. So it's quite nice to space out the colours in sections of 3 and make sure you think about putting your decorations into the side of the wreath rather than sitting along the top, and that will make it look a lot fuller. So if your wire starts bending, just pull it back out, straighten the wire and try again. And then we're going to put on our pepperberries. So the best way to attach these is to lay them on the greenery, tuck the stalk in and wiggle them around where you'd like them, and then make a hairpin with your wire and push it through the moss so it catches the middle of the pepperberries. So you may want a couple of those. And then we attach our feathers. So these are quite pretty when they're a little bit longer on the wire. And there we go, you have a completed Christmas wreath. I really hope you enjoyed making it, and I hope you'll join me again soon.